Hi guys, how you doing? It's Orlando City UK here today, and I'm delighted to say I'm joined by a very special guest. It's Mr. James Graham, otherwise known online as DC United Kingdom. How you doing, James? It's nice to have you on.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm doing really well. As you can probably tell by the light that's coming in, it's sunny for the moment. I can see rain clouds though, so it's probably going to darken a little bit and get a bit wet. So, but all good, I have to say.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Now, James, for my followers, James here is under the
Yep.
premise that he's allowed one Wayne Rooney mention for the entire half an hour, right? Just the one.
I'll save her for a good moment then.
Only messing, only messing. I think that's a good place to start, really. Let's get it out of our systems early on. Wayne Rooney, I am not disappointed to see him playing back in England at Derby. Man.
Oh, mate, it's for obviously from my point of view, it's highly disappointing to see him back in England, but he was fantastic for us, and he brought something unique to the club, and it really pushed the reputation of us worldwide.
Mhm.
Obviously, those goals and that tackle, shall we say,
Yeah.
that really pushed and elevated to seeing. I, I just remember there was one time I was in a restaurant in one of the villages local to me, and I could just see this kid watching the clip on his phone, and all I heard was Dave Johnson. So he's the guy who does
Yeah.
all the games for us, just screaming, "It's in the net!" And I'm just like, "Oh my god!" Actually, someone's watching a DC United goal a table away from me.
The Wayne Rooney
It's,
effect right there, right?
yeah, that is the Wayne Rooney effect, and
I mean, of the three, they all haunt me. They were all wonder goals, but I just remember the first one, wasn't it? The Acosta, actually, the smallest man on the pitch,
uh,
actually got it in, didn't he? But I just remember screaming at Will Johnson, "Square it, square it!" I mean, we was going to get the winner in that,
yeah.
after the tie. I can't remember.
I've obviously watched it quite a few times, but I just remember seeing it live and you seeing Ousted, our goalkeeper, going up, and I'm thinking, it's 2-2. We've got a point. What are you doing? And then, but
It
then
was
obviously
pretty
Rooney that tackle. I've never seen him run so fast.
Yeah,
Never seen him run so fast playing for England or Man United or
yeah.
Everton. And then you just see him put that ball in. And Acosta, he's 5'3".
I know.
5'3", and he
I know.
leapt like a salmon.
I don't know what our defenders were doing that. There was that one, and then you had the contentious one at Explorer in the corner.
Yes, yeah.
Less said about
I
that one again, the better. But the third one,
oh
Brian Rowe, I don't know, he'll hate that moment. And do you know what? To be fair with Brian Rowe, that went out across the world, and it kept
yeah,
looping on Sky Sports News, what have you. He was one of our unsung heroes early on last season. But that moment, man, he'll be hating that. He'll be having
yeah,
nightmares.
yeah. But to be fair to him though, when it's a corner, you don't expect that to happen, do
No,
you? It is a fluke, but what a great fluke for us! What a fluke. Rooney's vision though, to see that ball come towards him, to see the keeper out of his net, and to make that decision like that to go, you know what, boom.
as I said at the top of the show, I won't miss him. Anyway, James, moving on
Yes,
from Wayne
yes.
Rooney.
Do we
So
have to? Do we have to?
I had to let you get it out of your system. So tell us more about you. So you are DC United Kingdom. Tell us your
Yeah.
motivations for setting the account up, and how can people join you in the UK?
Yeah, so originally, it all started after my first visit to Audiefield. So I managed to get out there back in August 2018. Uh, I'm going to tell a little funny story about that. So we were in Florida, so we were in Orlando. So we were on a family holiday, my side of the family, and we were out there for 2 weeks. And I thought, let me just check the fixture. Let's see if DC United are playing at home.
Yeah,
And I thought, looked at it, we were playing Philly Union. Thought, yep, do it. It was on my dad's birthday,
yeah.
so that was a bit awkward
Well,
asking him. Do you mind if me and my wife just go out to DC for a few days of your birthday? He was
yeah.
fine with it, but we're in one of the gated community, so the flight itself was about 8:30 in the morning. We
Hmm.
needed to get to the airport early doors. and the guy who we booked for the Uber couldn't get through the gates because the security guard wasn't allowing it. So we had to walk 2.5 miles from where we were staying to the entrance to the community to get on a new taxi because that guy had obviously left because he wasn't going to wait around. We got a new taxi and we got to the airport, went through all the security and all that jazz, and we made it to the gate with seconds to spare.
Wow.
It was just, I had to sprint from the monorail to get there, and I was just like, whoa, what the heck?
It was fate for you.
It was. So I met up with the Screaming Eagles, who were pretty much the main supporters group of DC United. That was fantastic. And I thought, you know what? I need to keep it going. I need to do my own thing. And the guys over at MLS UK show, they do a great podcast. They kind of overlook the MLS UK community. They inspired me to start the podcast. It's grown from there. And it seems to be doing pretty well, to say the least. So I'm going to keep it going. And we'll see what happens.
Good man. So you're a Middlesbrough fan, aren't you? Back in England. I understand as well that Jaime Moreno might have had something to do with it as well, right?
Yeah. So the whole supporting of DC United, started off with Jaime Moreno. So he started at the Borough in '95, and he signed with DC in the summer of '96. That's kind of alluded me to DC United and the fact that America plays football. And that kind of just flew by me because I was only 8 at the time. So I was only a spring chicken. and then the Football Manager came along, as we all know, that great game, that very addictive game.
Hours and hours of entertainment.
Hours and hours of... Actually, I've not played it today. I'm disappointed in myself. I need to. That'll be after this.
Not yet.
But Freddie Adu, the legends, for one way or another, he kind of cemented that DC United supporter in me. So it's just gone from there.
The latest I heard, well, maybe this is a couple of years ago, but the latest I saw, he actually was playing down for Tampa Bay Rowdies, which is actually, they're a minor league team, but they are actually Orlando's #1 rival. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. Probably the only team we can beat, right?
So he's been around the block since then. So after Tampa Bay, he then moved to Las Vegas Lights.
That's correct. He did.
And now he's without a club, but I do follow him on Instagram and Twitter, and he's training hard. So it looks like he's trying to get himself back to a club. He's only 30.
I was going to say, the last time I Wikipedia'd him, I was like, he's not even old yet.
No.
But he did make a debut for DC at like 14, right?
Yeah, he was the youngest professional sports person in America. But he was also the highest paid at that time as well.
I don't know what I was doing at 14, but I wasn't playing professional.
It was definitely not professional soccer. It was just crazy, absolutely crazy. But he's kind of one of those reasons I'd love to get a conversation with him. Speak face to face with him.
Speaking of interviews, actually, I mean, what you do at DC United Kingdom, James interviews. He's been lucky enough to interview a lot of the first team players, and even earlier in lockdown, Ben Olsen himself, club legend, former player, current head coach. Tell us how that was. I watched that interview. It was amazing the time he spent.
It was just something else. So it all came about when so the guy who is the communications director, he sent an email out to a lot of people who do fan content. So there was myself, there was Sarah Colasi, who runs Switch the Pitch, which is a female-led content, which is awesome. You've got Between Clean Sheets, Black and Red United. So we all got together and we had what they call a happy hour. So we all had a couple of beers, spent an hour chatting with a couple of these chief executives, Ben Olsen, Steve Birnbaum. And I just sent an email after just saying, I would love to speak to Ben Olsen, have him on the show. And they went, yeah, all right. So I got him on, and he is such a great guy. And the key thing was the fact that he played for Nottingham Forest over here in the UK.
He did back in the day, yeah. I mean, I've seen what you do, James, and like myself, you are completely DC, what I do for Orlando as well. And isn't that what we love about MLS? The access and the kind of availability of speaking to these guys. I mean, that was one of the big motivators for me getting into the league, the kind of, messaging the players on Twitter, them hitting you back and fangirling a bit. But it's just amazing, isn't it, that they've been able to facilitate that for you.
Oh, honestly, it's what I find about MLS. It's much more of a community-driven league than anything else I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I mean, you see some of the leagues over in the UK, and can you imagine being able to interview Arsene Wenger back in the day on a podcast? You'd think
no chance.
That's never going to happen.
Yeah.
And for me to get the head coach of my favourite team onto my show, that is just unreal. And I love this league. I absolutely adore it. People laugh at me and things like that, but
we've had our fair share of stick over the years. The Euro snobs.
They just don't understand.
Yeah.
And another thing that drives me to this league is every season is different.
Yeah.
And there's no team that are dominating, unless you're Atlanta or LAFC, when you've got Carlos Vela or Joseph Martinez. But
or should we say Seattle or Toronto?
There is that as well.
But I agree with you. Like the parity of American sports as a whole, it makes it exciting. It's not a foregone conclusion. Sure, Atlanta and LAFC was, a lot of people will say, well, those guys are going to be there or thereabouts. But it's right, like everyone has a fair shot. You guys at DC, before Rooney came along, you were what we are now, and also ran in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, it was a tough time. And to be honest, it still is. We're not anywhere near where we used to be back in the early days. So what is classed as MLS 1.0.
Yeah.
And I would love to get to that kind of level again. And it will take time.
Mm-hmm.
And it will take a lot of revamp and getting everything sorted out. So there is still a lot of things that need to be changed. But I'm looking forward to it. We've got some great youngsters coming through. The next few years are going to be hopefully rather special.
Yeah, indeed. So can I push you then? Obviously the Ben Olsen one was special. Can I push you to a favourite interview though? You've spoke to Steve Birnbaum, like you said, a few, I know Bill Hamid's on your wish list, but favourite so far? Favourite interview?
I think the first one that I ever did with someone from the club, a player, which was Quincy Amarikwa.
Yeah.
If you don't know him, go and follow him on Instagram and Twitter. Unfortunately, he's not with the club at the moment, but every club he's been at, he's been a cult hero. Yeah. And there was a particular point in the interview when we just come off the back of a win against LA Galaxy, and he was taunting the players, and he got up in the face of Zlatan, and I had to ask him, what is it like to go up against Zlatan? And his answer was, well, he's bigger physically, but I'm bigger mentally. And I'm just like,
whoa, mind blown.
Have you seen Zlatan's ego?
Yeah, man.
And he's just come out with that, and I was like, fair play. And that it was just something else. And at the moment, that is still my most listened to show. It's bigger than the Ben Olsen one, which it's getting close. But the Quincy interview was fantastic.
Good man. Now, I want to talk to you, James, as well about, I'm obviously living in Toronto at the moment in Canada, but I've been like you, like burning the midnight oil,
Yes.
1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. watching our teams over there in America. Tell us, what is the latest you've stayed up watching DC? The Pacific Northwest, the West Coast, those games can be brutal.
I think it was a game against Houston Dynamo. That was a brutal game. I remember I'm thinking we've got Vancouver, that's going to be a late one, but that was actually shown early on in the day, so I was quite happy about that.
Yeah.
The Houston one, I think I was up till about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And the only other one that came close was the 2018 playoff match against Columbus Crew, because it went to penalties.
Yeah.
And I had work the next day, and I got about 2.5, 3 hours sleep.
Yeah.
That was a tough day at work.
Yeah. I think my latest one has been Whitecaps away. one of the alternating seasons that we played over there at BC Place. And I think it was something stupid like a 2:30 a.m. UK start. And obviously, once the game's done, once the post interviews are done, I was living in Lincoln at the time. I think I went to work straight after. Honestly, it was light when I woke when the game had finished.
Jeez, but that's it. That's kind of another draw to the league is stay up a little bit late, have a couple of beers or a cup of coffee.
Yeah,
to get you through.
Coffee and is definitely your friend. You're in the MLS UK fraternity, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely. It's you got to sometimes have to have a kit beforehand, don't you?
The tactical kit just before a late game on the West Coast, like everyone in MLS UK will know that that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
And I've always said to the wife, watching those late games, training for having the baby.
Exactly.
The lack of sleep. That's how I pass the wife. That's how I got permission.
Indeed. While we're on the subject of watching games, MLS games, do you think? I mean, I've got my own spin on this, being an Orlando supporter, but do you think there's good access in the UK to watching DC United games over the last 5 years?
Definitely. It's because obviously it started off MLS coverage properly back in 2015 on Sky Sports, and there was a few games. I remember. I think it was the first one they shown was actually Orlando NYCFC, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I actually remember what I watched that, and I actually loved it. And the Citrus Bowl.
Citrus Bowl, yeah. The filled up 62,000 fans that day.
Yeah, I think that was the record attendance for MLS back in the day.
Yeah.
That was a great game. But we had a few games on, but I tell you what, when Rooney arrived, the effect that had on the coverage was just phenomenal. I think there was, out of the 34 regular season games, I think there was 4 that weren't broadcast live on television.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That was just insane.
I was going to say, because, the Wayne Rooney factor, lift off for DC United games in the UK, you've benefited from that, and it'll be interesting, won't it, really, to see how many games Sky cover now he's gone. For us, we're lucky, really. It's dwindling now because, obviously not fared so well. But those first couple of seasons, of our 34 regular season games, Sky were showing 15. I did articles throughout the seasons to kind of check how many they were showing. And because, we love traveling to Orlando for the theme parks, we kind of, were selected above other teams. We was aired all the time. So I think we've both been luckier. It's lucky we don't support the Rapids or Dynamo, because you never see those guys on there.
No, you genuinely don't. I'm surprised by how much coverage we've got now as well. You've got, Free Sports, Premier Sports?
Yeah, those guys are starting to show the Slack now as well. So you can watch most games, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And then if you're not broadcast on TV, probably shouldn't, but you can head over to a betting site and watch the games on there, which is, for me, great, because that's how I caught up with those 4 games that I didn't see. Really
good. Now, I want to move on.
Okay.
Today we're going to have, a bit later on, we're going to have the group stage draw for the MLS's back tournament. Delighted, Let's cheer. It's been a long time coming.
It's been too long.
Way too long. But obviously DC United will be back in action, just like Orlando City down there. Now Rooney is gone. You made some moves in the off-season. DC have got one of the tightest squads they have had. I think Ben Olsen likes working with smaller numbers, but you've got one of the tightest squads in all of MLS. You signed Edison Flores kind of as the big DP signing. Ola Kamara's obviously still up top. Who's going to step into Rooney's shoes, if anybody can do that?
It's a difficult one. Because there's no replacing Wayne Rooney. Let's put it that way. He is a one-of-a-kind player. And it's been strange because we would have thought we would have signed a direct replacement. And when it came to the first game of the season, obviously the second game of the season against Inter Miami, we ended up having to sign a guy from our B team, Loudoun United, with 13 hours to spare.
Wow.
It was just crazy. So we ended up playing Eric Sorga because Kamara got injured in that game. And to be fair, he looks good. He
Yeah.
actually looks good. He's got a great first touch.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Is he the Estonian guy?
Yeah, he scores like well, in the Estonian league, it was pretty much a goal a game.
Yeah.
And I know from my Middlesbrough days,
Mm.
that doesn't always guarantee you goals because I remember Afonso Alves.
Yeah, I remember well.
Yeah, yeah. We'll forget about him. But yeah, so we signed Flores, and I think he was more of a replacement for Lucho Costa
Yeah.
because we also lost him as well.
Because I remember
Annoyingly,
last season, I remember we did a pod, myself and you, and we were talking about bring Yamo Assad back, and he is back,
yes,
right?
yes.
He's back
That
on.
was that. Honestly, that was absolutely. And I remember there was he shared an Instagram story of him being back in Washington, and it was literally just as he'd done it. So I was like,
Mm.
screenshot, share that on Twitter, and that got picked up by a lot of the local outlets, things like the Washington Post, and
Yeah.
Pablo Mara, who's one of the key kind of reporters for DC United. I was just like, wow. So yeah, we've got Yamil Assad back. Gressel, what a signing!
Yeah.
Uh,
Now he's left Atlanta United, I will say, what a super player he is. He slapped Nani on the back last season when Atlanta beat us again, and it went on.
what?
But honestly, what a player! And he can play everywhere down that right side as well, right? And
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, he is the assist king. I think there was a stat that came out when we signed it. No other player has got more assists than he has since he has started in MLS. So since he got drafted in.
I've got to
And,
admit, it absolutely shocked me when Atlanta got rid of him. They had their own rework this season, but I mean, he was a supply line for Martinez. It was a great pickup for DC.
it was just crazy. I think the fact that Atlanta weren't willing to give him the wages that he was after, you
Yeah,
think he's created the most goals for your club.
yeah, man, bizarre,
Very
bizarre.
bizarre, but I'm happy to have him,
Yeah,
and I'm looking forward to because he's already got his first assist in the first game of the season,
yeah,
and it was the first goal of the season
yeah.
out of all of MLS as well. So that was nice.
And to be
It was
juvenile as well, I'm glad you pegged Miami back in that one because they're
ah
still waiting for their first win. They've still not played in their own stadium, and their first kick is going to be in Orlando. You know, in Florida. So you know, we've not had much to shout about, so we have to be petty. You know.
hey, you've got something at least. It's just it's been that was a good game though. Actually,
It was a
that
good
was a
game.
very good game.
Yeah.
It looked like we were going to be down and out, but then they just kind of imploded
Yeah.
when they had that player sent off, Romain Torres, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the game just absolutely changed,
Yeah.
and Luis Robles just kind of just threw it away from him. So
Yeah.
even better though, the fact he's a former Red Bull.
Yeah. The Atlantic Cup. Yeah. Exactly.
Yes, I loved that. Absolutely loved it.
Isn't that great as well? In the two things, yeah, that brings me onto it. The regional cups, you know, what a great, you know, unique idea, and also the I don't know what you have at DC. Maybe you can tell us, but we don't have one. I'm on about kind of like the symbols, you know, for each territory in the US. You know, the Timbers have the log, Providence Park.
Yeah.
The New England Revs have the guys with the guns. You know, it's just amazing. It's just different, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, from what I've seen, I don't think we've actually got anything either.
Have you got an eagle? Do you get an eagle?
We've got I think we did briefly, but that no longer happens now. So that would be great to see back.
Yeah,
An eagle coming in, but
I mean, we would want the caged lion, but I think health and safety would have something to say about
yeah, yeah, and I don't think that would go down too well, especially after Tiger King.
Yeah, well, exactly. And Florida.
Yeah. Yes. I don't think you don't want to go down that path, do you?
Oh man, not at all, not at all. All right, James. So we've got a couple more for you on our list of questions.
All right.
Going back to your trips over there, if you had to pick one, you know, it's a pretty general question, but what is your favourite thing about DC, and what is your favourite memory following the club?
favorite thing about DC is probably how quiet it is.
Yeah.
You can just walk around. So a memory of being in the actual city itself. So you can just walk down the National Mall. You've got the White House, you've got the Capitol building,
Yeah.
you've got the monuments. You think tourists, you think that would be absolutely all over the place, but no.
Dead quiet.
It's just, it's just crazy how quiet it is.
Yeah.
For the capital city of the nation,
Yeah.
I think, compare that to London.
Yeah.
It's just astounding how different it is.
Wow. Yeah.
And I could go on about some loads and loads of memories. I mean, I've only been there twice, but and for a grand total of 1 week. But it's honestly, there's a little restaurant called Marty's Restaurant, which is where I think it was it Kennedy, I want to say, proposed to his wife in there, and the food in there. Oh, I've never had food like it.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely.
Well, the choices are just, it's all parcel. Go have some amazing food, then go watch some soccer. In the sunshine, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and then heading up to Audi Field for the first time. Just going over to Screaming Eagles to the tailgate.
Yeah,
the tailgate itself was absolutely fantastic, and it was as a non-member, you paid $15 to get in, and then it was all you can drink.
Yeah. What wonderful words budged together.
Yes. All you can drink.
Amazing.
And then when you compare...
Sorry to interrupt. I was going to say, tell us about Audi Field, because obviously it's one of the newer venues in
yes.
As is Exploria Stadium, not too old. And on the wall at Exploria Stadium, it's so steep and tight to the pitch, but it reminds me of Loftus Road, Audi Field. It's so tight to the pitch, that's probably not a good thing.
Yeah,
but it's so tight to the pitch. The atmosphere must be amazing they're creating that.
Yeah, Audi Field is just phenomenal. There's not a bad seat in the house. So, like I said, I've been there twice now, and I've sat at opposite ends. So, first time I went there, we sat down in the seating area, and it was above the player entrance. Brilliant, absolutely fantastic, and the atmosphere was really, really good. Yeah. Second time I went, we went into the supporter section, so we were in standing, proper rowdy. Unfortunately, didn't get a beer show because it was a 0-0 draw, but the volume was just electric, and it's just, I mean, I don't know whether you can see there, but I've got goosebumps talking about it. It's just absolutely awesome.
That's the way I feel when I go to watch Orlando as well. Like you, I went before the season got voided. I went to the opener and we played against Adrian Heath. We played Minnesota United. No, we didn't. Sorry, I've got that completely wrong. We played Real Salt Lake, and it was a 0-0 draw as well. Didn't see a goal, but again, the atmosphere created and the tifos, something we've not spoke about as well. What an amazing! I know they, originally kind of in Europe. You'll see in Dortmund and stuff, but the tifos comes back to that community culture where it's just such a unique product.
Yeah, unfortunately, DC United are not known for their tifos, so I'm just gonna.
I'd take a playoff spot over tifos.
Some of the tifos you guys come out with.
Thinking about the tifos at the moment.
Oh, there was what is it? There was one I saw that was a Queen one. A Freddie Mercury one at your guys. That was.
The Freddie Mercury one, that wasn't us, but I've seen the one you mean. We've had quite a few and they're amazing. We've had a Kill Bill one when we played Atlanta United. Unfinished business. We've had our one against Real Salt Lake in the opener this season was Wolf of Wall Street. It was We're Not Been Leaving.
Yes.
I saw that. I was right alongside that, and it was amazing. You think the amount of time that these things are up, a matter of minutes, 2 minutes of that, and the work that goes into them. I mean, I take my hat off to anyone, that's worked on one of those.
Yeah, absolutely. You think that they keep them up for all the game, but yeah, it's just phenomenal. And as you rightly say, they look fantastic, and they just bring a nice little extra dimension to the atmosphere.
They really do. They really do. Speaking of atmospheres, actually, it brings us on to my next question, and obviously you're biased to DC, I'm biased to Orlando. You know, we both think we've got amazing fans, but
Yeah.
going around the league, what stadiums do you rate, and what fan bases do you rate for just atmosphere? Like, you watched a game and thought, it's not my team, but wow.
I'm going to start off at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Red Bulls, obviously, because they
Obviously.
don't play in New York. They don't play in New York. And to be honest, I know you're an Arsenal fan, but the atmosphere at the Red Bulls is like the Emirates.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's pretty quiet.
No, yeah. I can't even fight back on that.
Stadiums I do want to go to. I would love to go to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because that is just, it looks. It just looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
I would love to go and actually go to the Explorer, because you see all the smoke grenades and the wall, and there was that US Open Cup game against NYCFC where all your fans just ran around.
Running at the wall. Honestly, that was our moment of last season. Like I said, we've not had much to shout about, but that shootout was incredible.
It really was. I would love to see that. I wouldn't mind going to Seattle's ground either.
Yeah.
Because that
looks amazing. Yeah.
That looks awesome.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else I rate. I don't rate the fan base of Atlanta though.
No, not at all.
No.
That's another part, but yeah.
And I really, and you will be happy to hear this, really dislike them.
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, without going too far down that I think a lot of people do, you know. I'm just going to say self-entitlement, and then we can. But I think. Go on.
I was just going to say, I'm going to put Red Bulls obviously at the top.
Yeah.
Atlanta just there.
Yeah.
That's how much I hate them.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I think for me, in terms of atmospheres, I've always, before Orlando came along and they were my team in 2015, I've always watched MLS, and I've always rated the Portland Timbers. I think their atmospheres they generate over there are just incredible. I think they're number one for tifos, and their atmospheres are just wow.
And they've just recently upgraded their stadium as well, which it's looking fantastic. So yeah, you're right. That's actually another one that would be great to go to.
It does look good. Also, Rans for poor atmospheres. I mean, I always look at teams like the Columbus Crew. You know, like bleachers galore. Chicago Fire have moved back into Soldier Field, but in Bridgeview they're averaging about 5,000. You know, oh man.
And don't forget about the Revs as well.
Yeah.
Because they're in the Gillette. Is it the Gillette Stadium? And it's just they might as well just open one tier of one stand.
To be honest with you, while we're talking atmospheres, and disclaimer to obviously this is going out on Twitter afterwards, but to be honest with you, with Orlando City, like we came into the league all guns blazing. You know, we filled the bowl and filled the bowl again. You know, in the Citrus Bowl with 60-odd thousand fans. Our attendances have, you know, you'll see a lot of Orlando fans go, "Oh, our supporters are amazing." I was really disappointed the last season under James O'Connor to see the crowd suffer that much, and I've spoke about it on other pods, but I think that's one of the big differences between, you know, obviously we're English football supporters first, and then we've got into MLS, but that's one of the big differences. You see in America a lot, don't you, kind of people picking it up and then leaving it. You know, you've obviously got the diehards and the supporters, but it's a lot more of a disposable thing, whereas in England, you know, like football's a religion, then walk out or rip your season ticket up.
Yeah, you're absolutely right on that. And speaking of ripping season tickets up, I remember back at the Borough, into the Steve McLaren days.
Oh God, with the brolly.
I know, right? Those were our glory days, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Making that UEFA Cup final, those two comebacks from being 3 goals down on aggregate. I'm just going to put that out there. But I remember there's a game against Aston Villa. We were losing. I think we were like 4-0 down or something daft like that. And you just see this guy just running the pitch, picking up his season ticket and just yoinking it at the boss. And it's just that, oh wow, that actually happened. Absolutely crazy times that.
Yeah. Wow. Indeed, indeed. But isn't it? It's the difference, isn't it? In America, kind of, if you're doing well,
Yeah,
and it's not just unique to MLS, if you're doing well, you know, and everyone's pulling in the right direction, you know, you can pull massive crowds, you know. It starts dwindling,
yeah.
you know, fans do as well. But yeah, that's almost our time actually up on Zoom today. So I want to say a big thanks
Oh,
to James for joining us. We've obviously got some football to chew over soon. You know, we've got the tournament group stage being drawn
yes.
later. So we both can't wait for that. But you do an amazing
Yep.
job from me, you know, flying the flag for MLS in the UK. So I want to say, you know, all the
Thank
best
you.
going forward, and we'll look out for your content. But where can English followers of MLS find you?
So the main account is over on Twitter, so that is at DC United Kingdom. There is a Facebook page and Instagram account as well, which is DC United Kingdom FC. Also got a YouTube channel. Just search DC United Kingdom. Love for you to subscribe. I've just recently put out an episode today of episode 10, where I interview the Chief Medical Officer of DC United.
There you go. Go check it out, guys. But yeah, want to say a big thank you to James. And yeah, until next time, guys, Vamos Orlando.
And Vamos United.
See you later.